Hello guys, Nomad Media here, and this is going to be the second installment in our simple maze game tutorial series. Now, in this episode, we will be learning how to create your project folder, the file and everything, and navigate the Unreal Engine UI. Now, since we're going to be making a video game, we're going to select games when we create to create the game file and everything. You can either double click it or click next in the bottom selection right here. Now, we are going to use the blank template, but if you were wanting to, let's say, make a clone of Hollow Knight or the Ori series, then you'd want to use these two right here. If you were wanting to make a copy of Fortnite or really anything third person action adventure story, you'd want to use the third person template. It's just to help you get up off of just start making content for it. But for now, we're just going to use blank. Now, right here, we will be selecting all the stuff that we need. Right now, it is perfectly fine. We don't need to change anything. The blueprints, that's the form of coding that we are going to be doing. Very simple. You can select between the two. Now, when you can use either one once you actually get in there. I personally, I don't understand why they have you choose when you can do both once the project's created. Now, the quality is set at maximum by default, and for what we're doing, we don't really need to set it to scalable. I'm pretty sure if you're following this tutorial, you probably have a somewhat medium to low end PC to a higher end PC, so we can just keep it on maximum, but you can change some of the editor preferences once we get in. If you are experiencing lag or frame rate drops, I should say, you can change it to unlit, which basically makes it so then in the editor nothing is actually being lit up, but once you click play, everything, all the lighting is enabled. With ray tracing, I don't have a ray tracing card, and for the simplicity of the tutorial, and just because I'm not really that experienced with ray tracing, I'm not going to enable that. We're going to use some of the starter content inside of Unreal, so we're going to make sure that it is including with starter content. Now, the folder is basically where you want your project to be stored, and the name is obviously the name of the project. So for this, we're going to use simple maze game tutorial. Oh, okay. I just call it simple maze game tut. Nice word. And that's just the name of the project. You can name it to whatever you want. Now, it's going to take a second to actually create the project and everything. Should be around 10 to 15 seconds. Those are around the times that I've experienced in the past when creating a project. Loading is a different story. Loading is completely scaled on what content you have and how far along you've programmed the game. We're coming up on 10 seconds. Alright, that was around 11 to 12 seconds. Alright, now we are inside of the editor. Now, to start off with, we have a place actors window right here. Uh, this is basically where you place down all of the primitive objects and like your cameras and your sequence editors and all that stuff. You have it over here, same with your lighting and everything. If it isn't enabled or if you don't see it, you can go to your window and include it through here. You press window, you go down to place actors and you include it. Click on that and it just includes it. So it's not on my screen right here, so I go to window, I go to place actors, and that's how you enable things on your screen. Same with the world outliner, details, world settings, and the content browser. Now the world outliner is just a not so like a comprehensive list of everything you've placed down in the world editor right here. Now the world settings are the settings for the world, basically configuring the physics, the collision, like the game settings like game mode, game saving, and yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with inside the world settings. Now details, this gives us a very, very comprehensive view of all the settings and detail, like general attributes and stuff for the object we have selected in the world outliner or the editor screen. So we have a floor selected in both the world outliner and the editor, and we can see in the details panel that we can change basically every single attribute of the object. Now the content browser is basically where you are going to spend most of your time when creating, like if you're creating a landscape, content browser is your best friend. You're going to be spending the most time right there. This is basically where you access all of the content in your project folder. So this is all the starter content right here. It comes with a lot of very useful stuff. Really nice sounds, some example blueprints and stuff, some HDRs, and then some default maps just to show off what the editor can do. We can open up another one by double clicking and stuff like that. And this is just an advanced lighting. If we click play right here, it just shows off all the different lighting effects you can achieve. Now these probably have a roughness and specular and metallic values, just being, yeah. Now to actually add input and make it more organized, like if you want to press W and go forward and use the left stick to move forward and backward, right and left, then you'd want to go and configure your project settings by pressing the edit and it going down to the project settings, and it brings up the project settings window, and you can go down to input, and that is in the engine category. You press that, and to add forward, back, right, left, like in your camera movement, then you'd want to use axis mappings. Now action mappings are for, like, if you want to open up a door by pressing E, then you'd want to use an action mapping. And that's because action mappings don't really carry any values, but axis mappings do. Then we for an example, oh, actually no, that's me for a later tutorial. And other things you can adjust in the project settings are how things are rendered to the viewport, how like if you have overlapping meshes, you can change which ones are rendered on top of each other through the project settings. And usually, whenever you're placing down a lot of objects and whatever and stuff like that, you'd want to go and build the lighting quality, which essentially makes it to where Unreal uses in Unreal Engine 5 uses a system where it bakes the lighting and also renders it in real time. And I think it's the same thing with Unreal Engine 4.27. And building the lighting also makes it to where everything looks better, and it makes sure that the lighting is actually accurate with all the objects that are placed down. You could press play right here, and this essentially just plays the scene. Now I just did something where it starts it inside of a what? You can okay, that's interesting. All right, I've never seen that before. I've never actually tried to do that. That's interesting. All right. Well, that should be it. Thank you guys for watching this. Another tutorial will be up within the next week. Thank you.